The Naomi content racket has censored parts of this video. Censorship credits in the description.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, we're talking about
Sassy Hippo Prom.
Because Michael Knowles is terrified of
Sassy Hippo Prom.
the demons, which conservative face is just, they might be queer.
I'm almost certain that I'm mispronouncing that, even though I've read the name of this publication.
All right, long
times.
introduction, yada yada, who
When
cares?
you read instead of hear these things. But it is an unapologetically pro-woman outlet focused on gender identity.
Oh, okay, so it's not a pro-woman's outlet, it's like a TERF outlet. They got a TERF on to talk about on the Michael Knowles show. Let's go.
Eve can shed some light on this phenomenon that frankly, as I've said on the show, I don't even want to look into, because I have been told, and then I've read on different fora that talk about this phenomenon, that there is a kind of that is apparently a driver of the transgender identity.
He's so terrified to look it up.
So perverse that it
Have you seen this Naomi TikTok?
it constitutes a kind of hypnosis where men will say, I was a normal guy, I lived to be 41, 42, and I was basically normal, but then I fell into this kind of and it essentially melted my brain. I had a nervous breakdown. Now I think that I'm a woman. So
let's be honest. Michael Knowles says he's scared to look at this
Sassy Hippo Prom.
because he's afraid that he's gonna fall into the trans cult or whatever. If you're the type of person that watching a video could convince you that you're transgender, I don't think it was the video that made you transgender. There was definitely something going on before you watched that video that would make you want to be a woman, want to change your gender, want to go through all of the processes involved in being a transgender person. If you can be convinced by some hottie telling you, hey sissy, be transgender, the eggshell was already cracking, okay? That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say.
rather than have to expose myself to that, and then, I'll have to go to confession, potentially my brain gets melted, I can just talk to Genevieve about it. Genevieve, thank you for coming on the show.
Michael Knowles, come on. You gotta man up and do some investigative journalism here. Like, are you really so afraid of getting in there to do the investigative journalism? You can't even look it up for your own segment? If we have to do the research to get the full story, then I guess we gotta look up some
Sassy Hippo
stream. But here's the thing, if I was gonna go ahead and do a whole segment about the dangers,
Sassy Hippo Prom.
the least that I could do was watch some and get an idea of what's going on.
So there's a lot I want to talk about with you. We don't have nearly enough time, so maybe we'll just have to have you back and talk about it at greater length. But can you just give not only the audience, but me, a rundown?
Yeah, let's go.
What is, among all of the types of pornography that lead to transgenderism, what is this hypnosis pornography?
You touched on a good point there. There are many types of pornography that are sort of involved with the transgender movement.
So there's a bit of a rhetorical shift there from Michael Knowles saying pornography that makes you transgender versus here saying pornography associated with the transgender movement. Do you mean transgender porn? The fact that transgender porn has trans people in it? Because yeah, there are trans people in transgender porn, but I don't think that makes people transgender. I'm not aware of any kind of significant correlation between somebody watching
Sassy Hippo
porn and then starting to identify as transgender. There's memes within the trans community, posts. If you go to the shit postiest parts of Reddit or Twitter, people joking about
Sassy Hippo
porn turned me trans. Much in the same way that trans people joke about any form of media turn them trans. Really, what's happening here is Michael Knowles is falling for the meme so hard, and so is Genevieve. They can't understand jokes. This is like we talked about before on stream. Transphobes, conservatives, they never know when a trans person is joking. When a trans person makes the joke about designer, they don't understand that they're joking. When a trans person, anytime they make a joke, they don't get it. They don't get it.
Hypnosis pornography is a little bit different in that it incorporates your lifestyle. So typically when we think of pornography, we think of it as something that is passive, that you're sort of watching. But this type, it asks you to sort of change your behavior, change the way you dress, even to start taking hormones.
You could also make the same argument against any kind of it's not just a passive form of pornography. It's asking you to for mommy. There is porn that has instructions. Yeah, no, Arctic Sniper. Definitely there is trans creators that do create porn and that do create kind of active porn like this. And there's a thriving kink community. I just think that the kink aspect and the trans aspect are entirely separate. It's so funny seeing just the outrage over a type of porn existing, especially because it's a type of porn that trans people just joke about.
And it's sometimes called Sissy hypno, so that's short for sissification, hypnosis, pornography.
Thank you for spelling out the acronym. I wouldn't would have known what sissy hypno means unless you told me it's sissy hypnification pornography.
I myself, I have personally been somewhat mocked for the suggestion that this is having a powerful impact on men.
Yes, because it's a joke. The whole people saying that sissy would be trans. It's a joke.
However, trans activists themselves will say things like it influenced them. There's a famous academic who wrote a book in 2019. His name is Andrea Long Chu, and the name of his book is Females. And in that book, he explicitly states that sissy porn and hypnosis made him start identifying as transgender. So what this incorporates is, as you might imagine, in the hypnosis style, things like repeated mantras, counting down, and probably some of the worst, most regressive stereotypes about women that you can possibly imagine.
Wait, okay, if counting down and stereotypes make somebody trans, then going to elementary school would make somebody trans. Like, you have to count down in elementary school math class. You learn about, like, stereotypes in elementary school. Like, they have nothing to go on.
The speaker will say to the listener or viewer, you are a dumb bimbo.
Yeah.
You want to be a girl. You want to be a bimbo. Just...
Degradation's a kink as well. There are lots of different kinks. I mean, you could try to just, like, fearmonger about, like, degradation porn in general. People are into it. I don't see how that makes somebody transgender.
All of that sort of terrible, insulting, degrading terminology and language, which is
because they're into it. That's what. Wait, is she really complaining that degradation porn, which consenting adults choose to consume, is degrading? That's the point. That's the point of it.
part of the point. It's part of the thrill. It's that it's taboo, that it's degrading, that's humiliating.
Oh my gosh. I need to thank Media Matters for allowing us to see this clip. Is this woman just, like, not aware of, like, kinks existing in general? If somebody explained, like, any kind of kink to her, would she just be like, oh, this is degenerate, this is wrong, we can't allow that? Is there a line as far as, like, the types of kinks that she's going to allow herself to or allow to exist? Oh my gosh, because there was a whole variety of kinks that got brought up there. Every time she was just, like, outraged by the existence of kinks. I don't know, like, does she just want to live in the world where all we have is boring vanilla sex? Just have fun. Be a fun person. Enjoy your kinks. This phenomenon of, like, conservative pundits being afraid of any kind of queerness, it keeps happening. Like, it keeps happening time and time again. I can give you so many examples. We have Michael Knowles, once again, acting in his gay film in college. I hope we remember this one from stream.
The Naomi Content Racket would like to present the following message from Censorship Kitty.
Power to the free market, death to socialism. You must grind to earn the right to breathe.
Buddy Michael Knowles over there, failed actor. Used to act in films like this at college.
You afraid to go inside?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I can leave.
Every single time, it's just their own aversion to queerness is their own biggest demon that they're facing. Let's be honest. Straight dudes love penises. They draw them everywhere. Like, you oh my gosh. Straight men are so into dicks. Now, if you take a chick and a dick, it sounds like a straight man's dream. That's everything they want, right? I love trans women. Trans women are hot, and I think that they deserve to be treated like princesses, both in and out of the bedroom. There was the viral Christian TikTok of the dude that was terrified of trans porn. This one was hilarious.
The porn I was watching, gradually as I watched it over the years upon years, it just kind of got darker and darker into whack stuff I never thought I'd be watching.
Darker? Oh no. Let's hear what's so dark about the porn he's been watching.
And I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there that are watching some porn that is something you never ever thought you'd be watching. 6th grade, the porn, I jumped into some weird categories, man. This is tough. Transgenders having sex with chicks.
That's it. Sounds hot. I'm all here for it. That's what he considers dark? Trans women in loving lesbian relationship? I'd do it myself.
And why am I watching this stuff? Well, because I'm open.
Why are you watching this stuff? Because it's hot. Because you're attracted to trans women and cis women. Because you find women attractive. Because you're a straight man. That's why he's into it.
Myself up to spirits and spirits the more I watch the porn, and I don't even realize it. you know, and as it gradually goes, it gets darker.
It gets darker. Just you wait. What's darker than trans girls having sex with cis girls?
And I was watching transgenders having sex with like transgenders, and then
Now it's two trans women having sex. Apparently that's darker? Dude, you're just into transgender women. What?
dudes, and I'm like, why am I watching this?
Oh wait. And then dudes. So it gets darker and darker until eventually he's watching straight porn again. Like, okay, think about this. It was gay porn, trans girl with a cis girl. Then it was gay porn again with two trans girls. And now by the time we get to straight porn, a trans girl and a straight man who's into women, including trans girls, like this straight man right here, that's when it gets the darkest to him. Fellas, is straight porn gay?
And I'm like, why am I watching this stuff? Eventually,
Because you're a straight man and you find women hot.
it's like Ted Bundy. Eventually, the porn wasn't enough for Ted Bundy. And he started actually doing the acts, and I started doing the acts.
So he had sex with trans women. Good for you, bud. Just like treat her like a woman and have a good time and treat her like a princess.
Never ever thought I'd be doing something like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's my quick, short testimony on porn and how it just dragged me to a dark place. But know this, there's good news at the end of this. Jesus found me, I found Jesus. I started to develop a relationship with Jesus. I realized that porn was in between me and God. And that I had to take a spear and shove it down the heart of porn and kill it.
This is your brain on religion. This man could have been such a happy king marrying his transgender princess, and they could have lived happily ever after. But instead, his brain on religion makes him feel ashamed for his natural attraction, makes him feel guilty for dating somebody that he genuinely liked and was attracted to. Like, in the world where this guy just like, recognizes, oh, I'm a straight guy, and I'm also attracted to trans women, cool. Like, he would have turned out just fine. But, like, his brain on religion is just so riddled with guilt and shame that is entirely unnecessary over a perfectly natural sexual attraction.
Powerful testimony, dude. It takes a lot of strength to bring sin to light.
Yes.
It takes a lot of strength to talk about your attraction to trans women. Well, call me strong, but I love trans women. Trans women are hot, and I think that they deserve to be treated like princesses, both in and out of the bedroom. So call me strong. Call me strong for talking about it. The little Bible chair, the Bible stand. Oh my gosh, they really hit their framing just right for like that Christian TikTok. Did Naomi come out as cis yet? No, not yet. We're still working on that one.
I've seen Naomi IRL, I promise, and I've seen what's down there. She's a real woman, I tell you.
But just you wait. We have more examples. There was the classic neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes, who got caught watching some trans-on femboy porn during one of his live streams where he had this just tab open when he was scrolling through his tabs. People were able to identify the video. It's blurred out here, but like from the little screenshot, people were able to identify the video. Neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes was looking at trans-on femboy porn. It was a femboy sucking a trans girl off, and they just it's every single time. It happens again and again and again. Steven Crowder himself is not immune to this. We have this classic Steven Crowder clip.
Frankly, I used to have a bad temper. I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase.
He's afraid of his short bisexual phrase rearing its ugly head again. Really interesting that he said it was a bisexual phase and not a bi-curious phase. Because if it was like a bi-curious phase, that would imply that, I thought I might be bisexual, I tried it, and realized that I'm not actually bisexual. I had a bi-curious phase. It resulted in a regrettable hookup, and that was that. I don't think that I'm bisexual. For him, he had his bisexual phase, and doesn't dismiss it as bi-curiosity. Like, it was straight up a bisexual phase, which he's afraid of coming back, which means he's just bisexual. That's literally it.
Oh, I'm afraid.
He's terrified. It's literally just this meme, time and time again. Boys be like, I'm fighting demons, and the whole time it's bisexuality. There was the whole stunt where Steven Crowder was pretending to be trans in like a gym. That's Steven Crowder right there. He dressed up like pretending to be a trans woman and was going around. And he was trying to like make a point that like people would be uncomfortable with his existence in like the gym or whatever. But what actually happened in the video was that, like, people just minded their own business and didn't give a shit until he started, like, causing a scene and, like, throwing weights around and stuff. And people were like, hey, are you okay? You dropped your weights. Oh my goodness. It just keeps on happening time and time again that conservatives are afraid of their own internal demons. And those demons are just that they are attracted to men or trans people, for example. And I think there's definitely a phenomenon going on there, especially with how, like, our brains tend to develop kinks or fetishes surrounding bigotry, especially. I mean, it's the same reason why you see, like, you know, very racist dudes love interracial cuck porn. They go crazy for that shit. It's the exact same phenomenon. Why all these conservatives, they love their trans on femboy porn. They struggle with their bisexual demons. Should our question sexuality be the segment for tomorrow? That's a good question. I think it would be a fun segment, absolutely. We might need to do some censoring of chat and maybe some of the words that I said as well, but...
Death to socialism.